welcome. So what are we gonna call this, guys? I mean, spooktacular? No, I don't like that. Scared timber? No, I don't like that either. I need some help. I have no idea what to call doing scary movies or horror movies during Halloween. So I'd like some suggestions if y'all wanna comment and let me know what you think I should name it. Everybody does like, spook timber or whatever, but I don't know. Or maybe we'll just call it the spooky season or Halloween scares. I don't know. So yeah, I need some help. So why don't y'all, after you like, of course, this rapidly growing YouTube channel, give me some suggestions on what I should call it. I know I showed my mug off at the beginning. I showed it the other day, and this is the other side. I got this at what you call it, Spirit Halloween. Nice mug. I think it is brings out the Halloween spirit. And I got this Creepshow T-shirt. I love Creepshow. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but I didn't grow up watching the movies. I didn't watch the movies actually until, I don't know, in the last couple of years. I'm in this horror movie group on Facebook, and they were always raving about it. So it was on Amazon Prime. So I watched it and I love it because I love anthology stuff, like Tales from the Crypt. I love Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, stuff like that. Those, they're not all great. Not every episode is great, but for some reason they're all kind of fun. And they're cheesy and really kind of terrible, but that's what makes them awesome. So if you're into this, into the genre or the Halloween spirit, and you like stuff like that, the Creepshow movies are great. Not every aspect of them are great, but some of the stories within the movies I just love. And then recently I watched the series. It's been out for a couple of years, and I think season 3 is either about to start or has already started, but I don't have Shudder. It's a Shudder series. But season 1 is on Amazon Prime right now. So I think Creepshow 2 and the series Creepshow are on Amazon. So Prime. And the series, season 1, I'm sorry. So give them a watch. They're good. It gets you in the Halloween, mood. The series, they're like 40-minute episodes, but there's 2 stories within each episode. So they're like 20-minute stories. So 2 20-minute stories per episode, right? And I think there's only like 6 episodes, so you get like 12 little mini stories, and some are good and some are really good and some are just like but it's still good enough to watch during the Halloween season, and I enjoyed it. It really puts me in the mood. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna probably join Shudder at least for this Halloween season, and if I like it and if the originals and stuff other than Creepshow are good, I'll keep it. I think it's like $6 a month. You can get it through Amazon Prime, one of their extensions or whatever it's called, but I think it's its own thing. You can also subscribe individually. So yeah, that's Creepshow. I watched a movie the other day on Netflix, and keeping with horror movies, called The Ritual. Now, this movie, it's kind of like what Blair Witch was going for, just with no budget, right? It was what you call it, found footage, and they did an excellent job. Blair Witch Project is, if you've seen it, especially if you're my age and you saw it when it came out, that scared the crap out of people. So it was inventive with a $50,000 or $60,000, $100,000, whatever it was, budget, little or nothing, and they made like millions upon millions, and it was effective, because it's what you don't see, and that's what The Ritual does. The Ritual is these 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, right? They're friends, and they are hiking in, I forget what country. It's like Norway or something, I think, and it's a British film or whatever. So they get lost in the woods, of course, and it's called The Ritual, right? So remember, if you've seen Blair Witch, they had all the different things hanging, because witchcraft and all that. Well, it's kind of the same here. There's things going on, but what makes it effective, like Blair Witch, is what you don't see. And there's a few scenes that I was watching and I was going, I mean, it's pretty good. The tension is great. You have no idea what's going on, like none. And when they realize that they're being stalked, then what is stalking them? Is it a person? Is it a creature? And it's very good. It had me on edge. Now, that's probably like the first hour and 10 minutes. I mean, just tense, scaring you, keeps you wondering. You just see like maybe like a hand here or there, or whatever it is, kind of walk in front of the camera really fast, so you can't tell what it is, even if you slow mo it. So all of that's great, but once there's the big reveal, and it's just meh at that point. It's kind of neat, but the movie's not by any means bad. It's just the creature, or whatever it is just a little, maybe just a tad bit disappointing or underwhelming in what it actually is, but what it does is not. So I mean, it's on Netflix, won't cost you anything. It's great for the Halloween season, and it's really effective in getting you scared or on the edge of your seat, especially in the dark. So yeah, I highly suggest The Ritual. The acting is great. The directing was really great. The way it was shot, I mean, it was really good. I mean, it's probably not a huge production, but it wasn't like, B-movie stuff. I mean, this was a pretty good movie. The sound effects were amazing. The surround sound. So if you have that, you're going to think that there's stuff all around you while they're in the woods. So yeah, I very highly recommend watching The Ritual. And then last night I watched for the first time ever The Wolfman with Benicio Del Toro. And all I've heard about this movie is that it sucks. Was it underwhelming, or I've even heard terrible. And I don't see that. Now, is this movie like the greatest werewolf movie ever? No, I don't think so. Actually, not even close. But because there's a few other werewolf movies that I want to talk about during the season. But I think what they tried to do was keep the Universal monsters. They tried to keep it classic, right? Very much like Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola in the 90s, where it tried to give you that old movie feel. And I think that's what they were going for with Wolfman. They were trying to replicate what was done with Dracula, and they succeeded and they failed. The Wolfman, of course, looks like the original Wolfman. He still has his clothes on, and they don't make his snout and everything look like a dog. So it looks very much like the classic Wolfman, but it's gory as all hell. Benicio Del Toro, of course. I mean, who doesn't love Benicio Del Toro, right? I mean, the dude's great in everything. Anthony Hopkins, of course, plays his father. And Emily Blunt is the love interest. And, the movie is only like an hour and 40 minutes. It's, fast paced. I mean, there's really no lull in it at all. Hugo Weaving is in it, who I just finished watching the Matrix trilogy. And Don and I are going to be doing a video on that very soon because the new Matrix movie's coming out. So, but I love Hugo Weaving, man. I had only really seen the first Matrix, right, up until a couple weeks ago. And then I've seen the Lord of the Rings movies, but only one. So I've never seen a whole lot with him. Oh, I did see V for Vendetta years ago, but I just forgot how good of an actor he was. So his part's not huge, but he plays the inspector, or what they call inspectors, or police officer in the 1800s in England, trying to catch him. So yeah, I think it's good. The special effects are really good. It's gory. They use that filter to make it the movie look very gray and old. Um, yeah, I think The Wolfman's good. So I watched it on Tubi for free. So if you've never seen The Wolfman and you're trying to get in that Halloween spirit, I really suggest giving it a watch. Look, there's a bunch of crap out there. There's a bunch of crappy horror movies or scary movies you could watch, but this is actually a pretty decent one. It's not nearly as bad as what people say. I guess maybe it was expectations. People expected more from it. Maybe if they wouldn't have tried to keep the classic feel of the Universal monsters, people might have liked it more. And I think that might be where it lost people. They try to keep that classic feel to it, and I rather enjoy it. I'm glad I watch it now. Will I sit here and watch it all the time? No. There's other werewolf movies that I really enjoy and I can watch over and over. A couple of them, well, one of them for sure, that I've watched since I was a kid, which we'll talk about that another time, on another spook something, whatever. I need help because I suck at this, coming up with names and stuff. So with that, I'll wrap it up. Just wanted to do something fast. And yeah, Don and I will be recording that Matrix video, and because I got questions. I have lots of questions, and hopefully he can answer them, because I'm very confused. But until then, catch you on the next one.